Dear students, welcome you all for the course Research Methodology. Now we are into the block 1, which constitutes of the basics of research. The introductory part is there in Unit 1. So when we say research is researching. So we have actually many scientists and many people, those who have already worked on certain concepts or certain phenomena. So we are going to research about what has happened in the past, analyze about the present trend, and we are going to use it for the future. So the definition is there for research, where you can look into it. It is defined as a careful consideration of study regarding a particular concern or problem using scientific methods. So according to American sociologist, he says, research is a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, and control the observed phenomenon. So, when we talk about the methodology in research, there are many subjects. Like there is basic science, there is life science, there is pharmaceutical sciences. We have got medicine, we have got engineering, we have got agriculture, so on and so forth. But everything is not static, everything is keep on evolving, so it keeps on changing from time to time. But we need to understand about a particular phenomenon in a scientific manner. Okay, so we need to predict what is going to happen in the future based on what has happened in the past. So for that, you can't do it by intuition. We have to actually do it in a systematic manner where you can generalize the data and we can use it for future purpose. So we are studying business administration program. So in business as well, where lots and lots of risk is involved, in order to minimize the risk, we do research about the present trend and then we use it for our future. Okay. So now, when we talk about the areas which is involved in research, we can actually do research in all sectors. We can use it in banking and financial sectors. We can use it in agricultural and rural development. We can use it for all industry, as I've told you already. We can use it for economic forecasting. We can use it for the environmental aspects as well, for maintaining the UN Sustainable Development Goals of 2030. We can actually correlate the work what we are doing and we can find out whether we contribute to UN Sustainable Development Goal as well. There are many places where the revenue is only by tourism. So in those areas also you can do research. So whatever sector it is, if it is fintech company, IT sector, ITES sector, engineering, manufacturing, automobile segment, infrastructure, wherever it is, you can do research because technologies keep on evolving and then the expectation of the customers or the end user of a particular product keeps on changing from time to time. And about the functional areas in management, be it human resources or be it marketing or be it finance or be it operations, which is a combination of production and services, or being it systems, in all the functional areas of management also research is pervasive. Now, in sociology, the extension of the previous slide, we do analysis of the data what we collect. Okay, so what type of analysis? You would have heard about all these things in your core papers as well. In marketing, they would talk about marketing analysis, like feasibility study, market segmentation, product line analysis. Okay, so market analysis is also there. We need to find out the demand which exists amongst the consumers. So market analysis is there. Financial analysis is there. Financial forecasting is there. about the share price. The predictions will happen, like, and about the brand. What is the brand preference? What is the brand awareness? What is the brand loyalty? What is the brand commitment? What is the brand equity? If you need to know all this stuff, then we need to go and find out the perception of the consumers regarding that particular brand. And likewise, we need to find out whether the celebrities' influence has got a positive or negative impact over the brand. Okay, and what are the other factors which contribute to the brand of a particular product? And likewise, product analysis. You would have studied in your marketing product line analysis. There would be different products manufactured by a particular person itself. If you take Tata, he is into almost all the sectors, starting from aircraft to manufacturing of salt. To that level, Tata is actually involved into. So for different products, what they manufacture, they will be having different strategies. Okay, and then the performance of one product may affect the selling of another product as well. So product line analysis will happen, and likewise, depending upon the product life cycle, um, uh, the pricing strategy will differ. Supposing if you're introductory phase of a particular product, you are launching the product, then we have to determine whether it is going to be initial skimming price or penetration price, and then what type of promotional strategies would you use in the introductory phase. During the growth phase, what type of promotional activities would you do, and if the product is in the maturity stage, then what type of um, production or what type of other augmented inputs you could give to that particular product to retain the market, so that that can be done. Even if the product is in decline stage, like, it should not give an impact to the other line of products manufactured by the same person. Okay, so to that level, they do product analysis. Then when we talk about risk, we know that doing business itself is taking risk. But we do business in certainty, in uncertainty, and in risk. In certain situations, it is very easy to do business, but if the end results are uncertain, then we have to be a bit alert about that. And if you are involved in a risk stage, like, then lots and lots of scientific tools are there which minimizes the risk. For example, you can apply Bayes' theorem to find out the probability of getting success when you dig a oil well, like, and before digging a well, there are some predictors like taking up seismic test. So, and all this stuff you need to, it involves cost. Like, if you dig a well and if you don't find oil there, then the cost which is involved in digging the well becomes a loss to the person. Whereas if you dig a well and then you get oil from that, then what happens is you get profit out of it. Okay. And then supposing if you want to reduce the risk of digging a well without predicting whether oil would be there or not, there are certain tests what you could apply, seismic test. And when you apply seismic test, money is involved into it. So the chances of getting success would already be there determined, and you multiply that with the cost price of that, and you take a decision like, even if you don't get success, what is the amount of money you would lose in that. Okay, so that's what is called as risk analysis. And then competitor analysis. So we have cutthroat competition. We have to actually find out whether that particular person, all the consumers will have different brand options. Okay, so we would see like, what are the um, factors which will influence a consumer to buy a particular product while doing a comparison. So when you go to retail outlet and multi-branded showrooms, you can see they will actually come out with the analysis by themselves. Like, particularly when you do online shopping, you can actually check out with the competing brand, and it will give you all specifications, and it will equate which specifications are equivalent and which one is not. So this particular comparison of data is already available, like that is what the consumer as well as the marketer is doing. Okay. Now, demand analysis is also very important because we can't manufacture goods and then keep it dumped, like until otherwise there is a demand for that particular product. Okay. So we need to find out the demand of the product, and we need to find out the supply of the product. Okay. So it is already there, demand forecasting and supply forecasting. Then distribution analysis, like I told you, like when we were talking about the functional area, one important functional area which is interdisciplinary in nature is involved, which is logistics. Logistics is a combination of operations and marketing. So the distribution analysis becomes a part of business. So in all the areas, like business research is keep on happening. So now we move to the next segment, the characteristics of a good research. So good research follows a systematic approach to capture accurate data. That's the first and foremost thing we need to keep in mind. We need to do it in a systematic manner. We will be teaching you how to do it in a systematic manner in the forthcoming sessions. The researchers need to practice ethics and code of conduct while making observations or drawing conclusion. Just because for the want of time, you have to finish it fast. You can't actually do it in an haphazard manner. Give the questionnaire to your neighbors, collect data, and come to a conclusion. It's not possible. We need to have representative samples from different segments. So we have to follow research ethics and the code of conduct. And likewise, the analysis should base on some logical reasoning and involve both inductive and deductive methods as well. Real-time data and knowledge is derived from actual observations in natural settings. So supposing you, instead of taking data, which is perception based, if you want to find out the taste and preferences of people of FMCG products, you can collect data by observation by looking into the CCTV camera of multi-branded showrooms. And then real-time data and knowledge, and that's what I told you, like it is observed in the natural setting. Then we can go in for in-depth analysis of all the data collected, so that there is no anomalies associated with that. And it creates a path for generating new questions as well. Existing data will help us to create much more opportunities. So we keep on when you find one result, you get a new question, like why this is happening, why this result has come out like that, why there is no significant difference between the male and female regarding the quality of work life, why the gender doesn't play a role over there. So it opens up a new arena for research as well, and it is analytical and uses all the available data, so there is no ambiguity in inferences, there is no anomalies, and then as well as there is no ambiguity when you draft the inferences as well. So accuracy is also one important critical aspect of research. The information should be very accurate and correct, because based on this information what you're going to give, the top management is going to make decisions. So business decisions are money involved, so your information should be correct. So for example, if the laboratory provides a controlled environment to collect data, we need to have an experimental group as well as a controlled group. So accuracy is also measured in terms of the instruments what we use and the calibrations of the instruments, the tools what we use. Supposing you have a questionnaire for data collection, then the reliability of that particular questionnaire is being checked by applying or finding out the Cronbach's alpha value. Okay, so even if you have a particular training module, what you do is pre-training and post-training, you will collect data about the competence which is being imparted during the training period. Okay, so based on that, the precise data what you get will be given, because training involves cost. So the effectiveness of training is determined by measuring the proficiency which they have earned after undergoing the training process. And likewise, after the data is being collected, what we need to do is the reporting it in a summated version to the top management is very, very important. It often recast data, achieve a deeper understanding or generate statistics for comparison. So this reporting study calls for knowledge and skill with information sources. The data is not at all enough. The information, what you get, meaningful information, what you get with the data is very important for the decision makers. Okay. Now coming to types of research, we are going to look into three different types of research. One is descriptive, other one is exploratory, and the third one is predictive research. So a research method that describes the characteristics of the population or the phenomenon studied is descriptive in nature. So this methodology actually focuses on what of the research subject and why of the research subject. Okay, so we're not concentrating on how, we are focusing on what. What is it? You just describe about that particular phenomenon of study. In exploratory study, this method is developed to investigate a phenomenon that has not been studied well advanced, okay, or it has not been studied in a proper way. Its main intention is to provide details about where to find a small amount of information. We are exploring it. Okay. So, but descriptive is focusing more on what of the research subject and why that particular subject is working out like that. But exploration is the beginning of the investigation, right? The predictive is the higher version of methodology where it concerns with the forecasting of outcomes. What will happen if this has been done? What will happen if this is not being done? Okay, it will find out the consequences. It will find out the cause and effect, like it will predict about the cost and the effect. Supposing you apply a fishbone diagram and find out, like you find out what happens because of that. Okay, supposing if there is a slack time, you are coming out with a CAPM model. Okay, we can predict about what's going to happen in future. Okay, this type of research actually tries to extrapolate from the analysis of the existing phenomenon, policies or other entities in order to predict something that has not been tried at all or tested or proposed before. Okay, so we have a particular thing and we go in depth into it and we find out the cause and the effect of that particular phenomenon. So this is the research process. You need to keep this in mind very clearly. This is the flow chart which talks about the entire research process. So where do you start? We start with having a question in the mind. So only when there's a question, only when you don't have an answer for a certain thing, then you do research in that particular area. Okay, so you clarify, or when the management, the top management will actually come out with some dilemmas. So like they wanted to explore a market, if they wanted to penetrate into North India, they have captured South India, and they are having FMCG products, and they wanted to get into North India. Okay, so they have a question like, should I come out with the same products, or should I do any changes? They may have that question in their mind. Okay, then what will be the transport charges? So how will I put the MRP for that? So how will I select the supply chain? So they may have to discover about that whether we need to actually get into it or not. Okay, then they'll have these questions which I was narrating about. Now we come to the research question. Like the researcher will have their own question. Like from where to collect data. So should I collect data from the consumer directly, or should I collect data from the C&F agent, or should I collect data from the retailers? Okay, so they will have some research questions in their mind. Then they will refine that research questions depending on the product about what they are going to collect data. And a research proposal is being drafted right now. So like before you start building a house, you have a proposal for that. So we will have something called as research design. So in that research design, we will actually state very clearly what type of research you're going to do, whether it's going to be exploratory type of research or whether it is going to be predictive type of research, and the purpose for what you're going to do, and the time frame. Time frame is very, very important because we classify research in another way as well, which is called as cross-sectional study and longitudinal study. If you have got ample time, then you can go for longitudinal study. Or if the time is limited, then you go for the cross-sectional study, because time involves cost. If a management wants an answer for a particular thing, if you be very late in giving answer, what happens is the competitor will come and capture the market and he will grab the market. Okay, so we need to have a time frame for finding out, and then what is the scope, what is the boundary within you're going to operate. Supposing it is FMCG product, you will collect data only about FMCG product, you will not getting into some other products. Then about the environment in which you are going to operate. Okay, you will look at the turbulences in the environment in terms of political environment, legal environment, cultural environment, social environment. So we will find out what type of culture they are involved into. Is that the taste and preferences are based on all these environmental factors. So all these things we will be keeping it in our mind, and we will come out with the research design. Then we develop an instrument for collecting data. So that instrument can be a questionnaire, an instrument can be for example, a structured interview schedule. The particular data collection methodology could be a time and motion study. It could be by observation through the CCTV cameras. Okay, so any instrument could be used over there. And then supposing if I wanted to find out the attitude of people about online shopping of mobile products, then what I can do is I can go to the social media, apply predictive tools, and then find out whether there is a positive or negative attitude towards the launch of a particular model. Okay, so then before even starting up with the main study, we do a pilot study as well, and find out whether the instrument what we have developed is worth enough. Is it reliable enough to take it forward to collect data from the entire sampling frame. So we come out with the data collection, and you prepare the data, you cleanse the data, and then data which is worthwhile, you take the data and we enter the data into many platforms. Like we have got SPSS, we have got RStudio, we have got Excel spreadsheet. In that also we can actually analyze the data. Then if you take Microsoft, we have got Power BI. So many tools are available for analysis part and the interpretation part. But the logic behind this should have a clarity, like look at the process diagram. It starts in a broader way and it narrows down. Okay, then finally we come to the research reporting part. Like whatever we have found out should be written in a proper way, and it should be presented to the top management to come out with some decisions. So the final thing is the management decision. Okay, this is all about the research process. Hope today's session was clear. Thank you for the patient listening.